Hey everybody, and welcome to my review of One Piece chapter 1143, titled God's Night. So, first starting off with the cover page, it's just a simple full art picture. It is all of the Straw Hats on those flying fish things and just in a race. We got Luffy and Zoro neck and neck as number 1 and 2. One of the things you'll see is that these fish and these fish are labeled with what position those straw hats are. For instance, Luffy's number 1, Zoro's number 2 because he was the second to join. It then has Nami as 3, which I don't know. Straw hat numbering is a little contentious, but I always consider like Nami to be 5. I guess that's just how I mentally consider it. But yeah, Nami is 3 officially. Usopp is riding on the back of Frankie, so we don't see his number, but he would be 4. Sanji here is 5. Chopper is riding on Zoro's back. We don't see his number, but he'd be 6. Robin is in last place with her fish, and she is 7. Frankie's just ahead of Robin, and he has 8 on his fish. Brook is on the same fish as Robin, just playing his instruments. And then I love that Jinbei is just in the water and swimming and keeping up with them. It's great. But getting to the chapter itself. So last time, actually, let me just quit. We're doing this live, everybody. Let me just quickly scroll through last chapter to double check I remember all of what happened there. Yeah, so as you remember last time, all of those scary monsters appeared, like spawned from the child's dreams, and then as well as Loki woke up, and we did see a giant's like completely battered and bruised, I believe, trying to like stop the kids. Yeah, PE teacher Wolf tried to like stop the kids and he got all cut up. Well, we see as Saul, Robin, and Chopper they're trying to stop these kids and they notice the arrow, so that does show that, the arrow is in fact like physical or whatever. Or Saul goes to like grab a child, but these thorns appear and start stabbing him, and he says that it hurts and gets thrown back. We then cut over to the Walrus School, as Angie's talking about, as the teacher Angie is talking about how all of these students are unconscious to a Den Den Mushi, and that's being broadcast all the way over to the party, and people are freaking out. We also see that one of the branches is on fire. A lot of the heavy hitters for the Giant, though, are drunk out of their mind, and so is Brook. And, Nami's freaking out. So, a bunch of Fire Brigade Giants start charging towards the fire when one of those nightmare monsters just swats their flying ship out of the sky, and this kind of gets all of these drunk giants to just lock in. We see I believe that's Dory, Oimon, and Jarl freaking out. The classic tongue out, eyes bulging out Oda reaction. What? Cut over to the top where we have the 3 gods knights and the current leader of the squad, I'm guessing, is going to be E. Summers now that Shamrock is gone, and he's just talking. Oh, did you see those looks on their faces when they tried to take the kids? Priceless. What's that expression again? Love is both rose and thorns. Actually, what kind of a voice should I give him? I'll say it. They're like, yeah, beats me, and he's like, oh, you're such a, oh, you're, oh, you're such a stick in the mud, Gyunko. The more love you have, the deeper passions thorns take hold. Even if you better, let's see. If they try and hug their kids, the thorns will rip them into pieces. The brats won't even want to look up after that. They'll be bawling themselves when they realize their folks died right in front of them. So, what he's seeming to imply here is that, the more love you have, the deeper passions of thorns take hold, the more damage you take. Killingham says, hey, what if their parents try and save them? To which they say, like, hey, if the parents do try and save them, the parents will die. And we learn he has the thorn fruit and is a briar man. So my reading of this is that like the damage you take it corresponds to like how much love you have. So like if a random person tries to like grab the kids, they're gonna take some damage. If like their parents try and take the kids, they'll take a lot of damage. Nami, for instance, would probably take the most damage out of any Straw Hats. That's an interesting question. Which Straw Hats do you think would take the least damage trying to grab the kids? Okay, no, it's Luffy. Luffy literally tried to punch Cullen with killing intent until he was told to stop. I guess someone like Zoro or Frankie maybe, but like most of the Straw Hats would be pretty sympathetic towards kids, but I think Nami's definitely the most sympathetic, so yeah, that fuck her up. And yeah, is just talking. So yeah, Killingham is just sorry. Summers is just talking about that, and it's mentioned. And Killingham's like, "Hey, Yunko, you're guiding them with the arrow. What path are you using?" So we get like a bit of a map of Elbath, and she's describing the route they're taking, and they're just sitting here eating a meal, and 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 Summers is eating it, and Killingham realizes this food's pretty good, but it needs a little bit of salt. He says out loud. Summers starts thinking to himself, "Huh, salt? Yeah, this could need some salt." To which Killingham, it looks like he kind of like sends a beam out from his head, which hits Summers, and Summers falls asleep. As he falls asleep, he starts snoring, and like a cloud is coming out of his mouth. And we see as Killingham puts his hand into the cloud and takes out the salt that Summers was thinking of. He then applies it to the food. And they're all talking about, oh man, this is great salt. And, not only is this like salt, but Summers is a celestial dragon, so this is like really bougie, high quality salt. So we're now getting an explanation for how Killingham's ability works, that he can put people to sleep and pull things out of their dreams, and they come into reality. We also see, as he is officially described as having eaten the mythical dragon fruit, model Kirin, and is a dream materializing man, which, as many people have discussed, we're not really sure where Oda got like the association with like Kirin's and dreams, but okay, whatever. Um, and you all of them are like, oh yeah, this food is tasting better. But Yunko, she eats it and she's like, oh my god, this is delicious. Holy shit. And she is just like, you know, yeah, very surprised by it. And makes the comments, man, I'm stuffed. Hey, is this 0 calories? To which Kiringham says, yeah, this entire meal that was just made using dreams, so all of it is 0 calories. So, it's not actually giving you like any energy, but it's not gonna make you fat. Yeah. So I feel like that's a bit of an explanation, like, hey, if you can just spawn things into reality, why haven't they been like solving the food shortage with this? And in Marie Juan, that's the reason why. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, okay. I am making a crackpot thing that like Killingham, and Sanji are going to fight. Just the weird parallel of like I don't know, crackpot. Like, hear me out, because Sanji's whole thing is like, you know, he thinks starvation is like the worst thing possible, and never waste food, and like because he almost starved to death. He's so big on like people not starving to death. I'm wondering if something like Gillingham's fruits, which makes food that tastes good but has no nutritional value, meaning you could theoretically be eating tons of, all you were eating was it, you would starve to death. I'm wondering if he is offended by food that doesn't fill you. That's an interesting question. Then again, there is a level of look, just spawn in some spices. They don't need calories. Like, that's what I'm curious about. But yeah, I also interesting thing to note is that he has a mythical dragon fruits. All of the dragon fruits we have seen so far have been ancient dragon fruits for dinosaurs, mainly for like the Tobiropo and stuff. Kaido's was just a fish, was the mythical fish fruits model dragon, as a reference to like, the Gyarados Magikarp myth, the whole um uh Koi going up the waterfall and becoming a dragon. But yeah, so those actually our first mythical dragon fruits, as funny as that is to say. Um, they also confirm that Gyunko confirms that they see the Thousand Sunny, so in fact, Luffy is here. Cut over to the underworld as New Giant Warrior pirates are standing off ready to fight Loki, and they're like, Loki, just calm down. Don't you get it? Hey, will you let everyone die? I'll slaughter every last person in the Sun Realm. Loki, calm down. As Loki starts, making huge threats, and Hiruda and Luffy's going prepared to attack Loki, to which Hiruda warns, "No, you'll get zapped." So it's seeming like from this, I am currently guessing that Ragnir has a devil fruit, something that allows it to produce lightning. Clearly, it's not Eneru's fruit because Eneru's alive. But yeah, he's going to attack, and yeah. So Luffy goes to attack and uses not even a like named attack. He just kind of like lightly taps Loki in the stomach as he just falls over, and it basically describes. Zoro's like, "Oh, looks like he was at death's door already," as they basically described like, "Yeah, Loki really was at like 1% energy at best. He was using all of that to like get up and fight full strength for just a minute, just to like see if he could intimidate everyone into letting him leave, so that way he could like get away and like pass out in the woods somewhere. But no, he was not actually ready for a fight." And Luffy says, Hiruden, I have a request. Please save Loki's life. I don't care what kind of person he is. I just can't let him die. And there was some medical supplies with them, so oh shoot, Goldberg is her name, I think. Yeah, hooks things up and giving him a blood transfusion, and yeah. So should be getting better, but describes that, like, yeah, it's going to be a while before he is fully recovered. Like, a couple of months. And, like, partially because we're keeping him still chained up. Like, yeah, it looks like they have officially added all of the chains back to him. He's still chained up on both of his arms and legs to the tree. His hammer is kept away from him, but yeah, we have to treat him down here in the underworld in the extreme cold, because if we brought him back to the village, everyone would freak out and probably attack him. So yeah, we also see Loki with his helmets off, still not his bandages off, but we see that he does. We see his horns, and they aren't just part of the helmet. Yeah. Get a flashback to the father of Loki and Hyruden saying, like, "You're both my precious sons. I want you to get along while I'm gone and do what I can to support Elbath." And then just shows all this shit that Hyruden went through of him being beat up, called a bastard by Loki, and saying, "Hyruden, everyone knows your mom's got dirty blood." As we see as Hyruden just looking over the unconscious Loki, picks up his axe and prepares to swing. And he says, "There's no way I can ever forgive him. He insulted my mother and killed our father." Loki just says, "Do it already?" His sweeping warrior thing has gotten old. And he's basically held back, like, held back and told, "Nope, don't do it, don't do it," by, like, Luffy and the other giants. And last line of the chapter is Loki saying, like, the whole killing dad. You don't really buy that, do you? And there's a couple of different translations. What I'm currently getting is from, like, aggregated sources, is along the lines of him basically saying, like, "Hey, they said I didn't kill dad for a good reason. You don't believe that I truly didn't have a reason, right? Because I did kill him, but I did have a reason." But we'll see. Next chapter is already out, and I have seen it. We don't go into the Loki flashback yet, so I'm guessing a couple more chapters, but we're going to get to the Loki flashback relatively soon. It's about all I had to say about this chapter, but yeah, pretty fun chapter. It's a pretty long chapter, too, because this was 17 pages, and yeah, I'm going to meet you guys here whenever I record 1144. See you guys then.